Well, the state is now investigating HomeTown Buffet after 10 News pressed the restaurant chain for answers about sudden layoffs. And just 60 minutes ago, 10 News broke news of that investigation on Twitter.
And reporter John Horn live in the newsroom for us. John, what did the state labor department tell you?
Well, they're not buying HomeTown Buffet's explanation as to why they don't owe their employees 60 more days of pay, let alone any notice of a sudden layoff.
A lonely place.
Susan Huff still can't believe she's now unemployed.
And I enjoyed my job. And it was a shock.
She spent more than 20 years working the dining room at this Claremont HomeTown Buffet. Last week, it suddenly came to an end.
They gave me no notice. I walked in Thursday morning and doors were shut. I couldn't even go in.
HomeTown Buffet closed 6 San Diego locations last week, from El Cajon to Oceanside. Instead of open doors, employees saw this sign when they got to work. The sign talks about final paychecks, but state law says these former employees may be entitled to a lot more money. Huff says HomeTown Buffet still owes her 11 hours of vacation pay and shorted her on a paycheck last month. But that might not be all. Generally, California law says large employers who have more than 75 employees need to give workers 60 days notice in the event of a mass layoff. If they don't, they can face $500 in daily penalties and owe for back pay and medical expenses.
Well, the reason you don't hear about violations is because companies do comply with it so much.
But an attorney for HomeTown Buffet says the laws don't apply. That's because even though the company laid off more than 75 workers in San Diego, none of the individual locations had enough employees to meet the threshold. That means people like Susan Huff aren't getting 60 more days of pay to help find a new job. They can't just kick you to the curb.
They did. They did.
Yeah, I just called the HomeTown Buffet's attorney to get some reaction to this new news from the state. She still maintains that those laws don't apply because each restaurant had fewer than 75 workers. Now, the state just doesn't see it that way. But for now, live in the newsroom, John Horn, 10 News.